talk to Dan Dalton, who is the chief whip of the Tory MEPs here in Brussels. So the rubber's really hitting the road now, Dan Dalton. At the end of the day, how is Theresa May, let's say she gets until May the 22nd or another configuration, which is the other wording going around, how's she going to get it through Parliament?
Well, I think it was moving over the weekend. I think there's still a potential that MPs will come on board. I mean, it's not guaranteed at the moment. It's still too close to call. But definitely movement was going that way. So there's still a chance she can get it through.
A chance, yes, but let's deal in the world of reality. If she does not get it through, as many people are predicting, and I agree, we don't know, but it's a widespread prediction, then what point is the extension? Because then you're back to square one.
I think we're in a different position then, yes, definitely. And I mean, this time next week, the question about the extension will be very different if the deal has not gone through. I think the debate we'll be having here will be very different. I think it's for that reason that, you know, we're really encouraging MPs to vote for it, because if not, in a week's time, we're going to be in a really difficult situation. I think the EU will probably grant an extension in that case as well. But the question is, what are we going to do with that extension if we get it?
If the Prime Minister has said she would not ask for an extension beyond June the 30th. That's what she was talking about in Downing Street. So one can assume she would now say May the 22nd. That implies she would resign.
Not necessarily. I mean, it also implies that she will continue to try to get the deal through, because ultimately there are only three choices on the table here. There is this deal, there is no deal at all, or there is no Brexit. And really, the one deal that is most palatable out of the three of them is the deal. And the delay will give her a little bit more time to try and get that through.
OK, so, I mean, at what point will, in your view, the Europeans say, we're not giving you another extension, we're going to agree that a no-deal Brexit is pretty much the only way forward?
Well, I don't think anyone wants a no deal. I think we'd only get to that situation when really the whole process towards getting a deal through is exhausted and everyone comes to the conclusion that there's no chance of going any further. And also, both sides need to be ready and prepared for it. I mean, a no deal is a really, really serious issue for the economy, not just between the EU and the UK, but I think there'll be ripples on the global economy. So I don't think really in any circumstances anyone wants to go there.
I agree, nobody wants to go it, but Dan Dalton, if you get to the stage where Parliament has rejected the deal, a long delay would invariably mean starting from scratch, wouldn't it? Can we agree on that? You'll be looking at a Norway Plus, Customs Union, EEA. All the options will be back on the table if it doesn't go through and she has to ask for a really long extension.
Well, yeah, everything's on the table at that stage. There's no doubt about it. But, I mean, the bottom line is no deal is really a failure from everyone on all sides if we get to that position. So I do think that there will be the time and space for the UK to try and shape whatever new approach it's going to have. But the way to avoid all of this is for MPs to vote the deal through this week. And I think that's why there's so much pressure on them to vote it through and get us to the next stage.
Dan Dalton, there is universal criticism at the way the Prime Minister put this together. Allegations that she kept people out, she didn't seek cross-party support, she made a secretive, the whole process secretive. She did not seek the middle ground. And most importantly, she relied on her own party alone to get this through. Hence, the ERG was able to hold her hostage.
Yeah, but it depends what you mean by the middle ground. I mean, the challenge here is what a lot of people perceive to be the middle ground, i.e. staying in the single market or staying in the customs union, actually in many ways is worse for the UK than being in the EU, because it has no say over those rules going forward. So the approach the Prime Minister took actually was an approach that more or less united the Conservative Party in terms of we wanted to basically go towards the free trade agreement approach. The difficulty with this, of course, is from the EU side, they made it very clear that the negotiations had to be in two sort of tranches. A first tranche about the withdrawal issues, which also included the Northern Irish border, and the second tranche on the trade deal. The problem is we can't really know how to keep the Northern Irish border open until we know what the trade deal element is. And I think that's actually probably what's sort of put us into this position now.
Dan Dalton, I'm here for a few more days as this goes on. You and I will talk more, I hope, in the future. We're very grateful that you talked to us tonight. I appreciate it.